Mark, this is the kind of game that can, test professional concentration, focus through the 48. You've talked before about how playing with big leagues can be a challenge. How did you feel about, just the way your team came out from the very outset of this one and took care of business?
Yeah, I thought at a certain point the game got a little loose, and we got to get a little bit loose, but we didn't get loose and selfish. We were loose and unselfish all night. So it wasn't our most precise game, but I thought the spirit was really good, and we played no agenda basketball on most possessions. So that was really encouraging, that the guys were leaning on each other like that, moving the ball, making the right plays, trying to execute with a level of pace and precision. So I think we get something out of that.
Yeah, I was going to ask more specifically about that offensive execution with the season high in assists and just some of the, especially early in the game. I think you start 11 for 14, and every single look was clean. What did you make of just the intensity in which they were trying to execute the plays?
Yeah, I thought we ran our stuff really hard and really well. So that was encouraging. We got to a lot of different things tonight and ripped through some stuff and took a look at a couple different things. And then our focus never wavered on the offensive end through that. And like I said, once we got the advantages, we moved the ball ahead of them really well. I thought for the most part we played really well.
What else we got? No one else for Coach? Y'all's got another?
We've seen this all season, so not new tonight, but Chet as a pretty elite play finisher for you all. How does with the team fully healthy now and the playmakers that you have, how does that specific area of his game kind of help put some touches on what you all do?
Yeah, I thought he had a good scoring night, but he had a very fundamental game. He ran the floor really well and finished those plays. He spaced well, both around the basket and on the perimeter. He took his catch and shoots. He played quickly off the catch. And so I thought, as loud of a night as he had from a numbers standpoint, most of that came on, the vegetables and the meat, not a lot of dessert. So I thought that was a really professional game by him.
Yeah, Coach. 7 assists for J-Dub in this one. Obviously, he's, working his way back in, finding his rhythm, but it seems like he's also managing to make people around him better in the process. Can you kind of just speak to that?
Yeah, I thought early in the game he was one of the guys that really got the thing moving for us. He punched the paint and found some really good sprays and made the right plays, and set a really good tone. And so it started with that group and continued for most of the game. I thought, like I said, there was a sharpness to the way we played. We played with pace and we were aggressive, but then we moved it out of the crowd and got the ball to the open spaces.
Yeah, Coach, Lou's always great defensively, obviously, but he's really finding his rhythm offensively right now, seemingly at the right time. Can you just kind of talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, he's relative to the way that he shot the ball the last couple of years, his shooting was down for most of the season, and he's had a little flurry here for the last X amount of games that he shot it exceptionally well and seems to have caught a nice rhythm. So he just needs to continue to take the predictable ones and bet on those. He's a good enough shooter that enough of those will go in, and you add that to his defensive impact, and he has strong two-end impact. In all the games, he's relevant in all the games because of the physicality, the defense.
You guys essentially have the same roster from last year, but one of the big differences is the development of AJ. Obviously, he played a little bit in the playoffs, but how much of a benefit or of a boost to this team is it going to add to have a third playmaker like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just that. He's not even limited to that. I just think he's a really versatile player. He plays on ball, off ball. He can create his own. He can also play off of somebody else's creation. He's an excellent closeout player on offense. The pace of our team is faster when he's on the court. And then defensively, he's a versatile defender. He can guard the off-ball guys and do a good job in the help, and he can guard, creators. And we've put him on some pretty high-level guys at different points in the season. So because of that, he's a flexible player. He could be out there with just about anybody. And there's tremendous value in that.
Cliff, go ahead.
Yeah. So, Coach, the Jazz are one of those teams that have some young guys, some hungry guys, some guys that don't always start. Big opportunity for them, obviously, playing the defending champs. Could you speak to the sharpness that's required? Because you guys used to be that team, with a lot of young, hungry guys. The sharpness that's required to come out and play the way you guys did against that.
Yeah, I mean, these teams that are out of the playoffs and, playing young guys and giving guys opportunities, there's a fearlessness and a confidence and a looseness that those teams come in with. And that can be dangerous at times, and so you have to go out there and earn a win. There's no game, no matter who it's against and what their record is, that's not an earned win. And so I thought we did that tonight. I thought we did that especially early. We gained control of the game, and I thought we did that with the way we played offense tonight. We really were sharp on that end of the floor, and like I said, kept the ball ahead of them, moved the ball to the open places.
It's your highest scoring game of the season and one of your best shooting performances of the season. Is that encouraging with the playoffs coming up?
Yeah, I mean, they're all different. In the playoffs, we played 23 playoff games last year. And there's a variance to those games. It's kind of a bell curve. You have great games, you have some bad ones, and then you have a bunch in the middle. And what dictates how good you are in the middle of that bell curve is your habits, and so that's what we tend to focus on. The shooting doesn't always carry over night to night. That's the most variant part of the game. But we want to be a team that, on the nights that we shoot it well, we're really hard to beat because we've got a strong foundation, and that's what we're trying to continue to build as we run through the finish line of the regular season here.
Anyone else?
Hey, before I go, just want to wish our fans a happy Easter. I hope